Hey everybody, want to do an actual video on Blink's most underrated songs. Not a joke this time, but I hope you understand. Before I get into it, I want to mention before I forget that everything on my Bandcamp page is roughly half off right now. So all my full-length CDs are $5 for hard copies. They're $4 digital. The EPs are $2 digital and $4 for the CDs. So now's a great time to get them if you're interested. And that'll be ending, sometime, around November 1st, or, if I remember to turn it off by then. So check it out if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate it. I actually didn't have an underrated song video planned, but just kind of thinking about it, I thought it would be kind of a good idea because just kind of judging, everybody's comments over the past, maybe month or two, just over all these bigger Blink videos that I've put out. I wanted to talk about it a bit because I'm really noticing like certain songs people either, kind of unanimously don't like or really do like. That kind of surprised me, and I just kind of want to throw my my 2 cents in there. Now this isn't going to be just Blink. I'm actually including Angels and Airwaves and Plus 44 as well, and I would add Boxcar Racer in there, but I don't think anybody thinks anything from Boxcar Racer is really bad. I mean, I think that album gets a lot of praise, worthy praise, mind you, but I don't think anything on that album really says underrated to me. I feel like a lot of people hold it in high regard, and it's not really something to really touch on other than, what I'm saying here. And the same goes for a couple other Blink albums. The Enema of the State album, I think most people consider that, a fairly perfect album. I don't think most people would really have too much to say about many of the songs, except for maybe, What's My Age Again and All the Small Things, and that's mostly because, they're singles and, people are sick of them. But and the same goes for Dude Ranch. I mean, most people hold that album pretty high too. I don't think there's much to really say on that album as far as, an underrated track. Most people really enjoy it, from front to back. So to start off, I want to kind of go with Angels and Airwaves for right now. The first track I came across was Lifeline, and almost immediately I thought Lifeline was one of their best songs. Up until that point, I really felt like Tom hadn't really done, a ton, vocal-wise, as far as, impressive stuff. And we all know that, in the studio he does use some help with, auto-tuning or whatever. But all that aside, I thought that the vocal, I think it's just a really good showcase of his singing. I mean, like I said, people, will knock his voice, obviously, but, I still think that really shows that he's got some great vocal melodies, great melodic ideas in general, and I think that it was just a really great performance on there, whether it's doctored or not afterwards, whatever. It still makes me really like the song a lot. Secondly, we got One Last Thing. I believe it was off of Love Part 2, I think. I don't know, not important. But I think One Last Thing is just a really great song. I think it's got a great chorus. It's just a very different sort of song. I mean, I don't know. I think it's just got really good vibes, and I don't really hear people talking about that one very much. And I don't know, for some reason the bridge section where Tom's kind of softly talking / singing or whatever, for some reason it always makes me think that it's Shia LaBeouf. It just kind of sounds like Shia LaBeouf to me. I don't know why, but I don't know. I think it's a great song. I don't think people really give that one enough credit. And the last Angels and Airwaves song I'm going to talk about is Good Day. And I still remember the first time I heard this song, and I still pretty much feel the same way about it. The lyrics to the song are not very good. They're very, very basic. I think Tom could have done better, but there's something about just how lush sounding this song is. I mean, I don't know why, but every time I hear it, I just feel like I'm in like a big like forest that's, you know, really well lit for some reason. But there's just like tons of greenery around. I don't know why I see that every time I hear it. But I just see like a lot of green and just like a lot of, not marijuana by the way, but I don't know. I see a lot of just like vegetation and just like really great vibes. I don't know what it is. I can't really explain it. It's just got a really cool feel to it. That's all I can really say without just sounding completely nuts. I mean, I probably sound nuts already, but I don't know. I just think it's really, really neat. I really like just what he pulled out for that song. Now we're going to go to plus 44. Obviously, there's only one album to really talk about, and I'm only going to mention one song here, but that's Weatherman. I think it really shows off his range a bit. He doesn't go too high in this song, but you know, he goes pretty low, and I think it sounds really cool. I think it's something that would be really cool to see more of. You know, I think it's something that he's good at, and I think it really would do a nice contrast between the two. You know, Mark can sing fairly high, not obviously as high as Tom would, but I don't know. I wish Mark would do a little bit more of like the lower stuff, and he does it a bit more on the Plus 44 album as well. So I just think it would be cool. You know, I think it really really showed a bit more of what Mark was really capable of. All right, on to Blink. I got 3 songs here I'm going to talk about. Like I said, certain albums I just kind of omitted because I feel like people really hold them pretty high already from start to finish. So the first one I want to talk about is Here's Your Letter. And when I did my video on, you know, least favorite Blink songs, I was really surprised so many people say Here's Your Letter, and I always really thought this song was cool. It's very different from a lot of the other songs on the album, but as an easy listening perspective, I thought it was just a good sounding song. But, you know, as a musician and somebody that, you know, would maybe look a little bit deeper, it's very interesting because it can seem like a very straightforward song to, you know, a casual listener, but to somebody that, you know, is looking deeper into things, you can really notice like just how many layers are going on in that song. You know, tons of different guitar parts that are just like kind of layering over each other, in a lot of different sections, and it can sound very cohesive, but you know, if you try to like think about them like separately, it's very, I just really liked how they made certain things work together to kind of form one sound that were kind of different than what they were used to. They made a lot of things feel like one when I wouldn't expect them to. I think it deserves a lot more praise than people give it, and I just think the whole song just sounds killer. I think the bass tone is great. I think the guitar sounds amazing. It's just a great song in my opinion. Second Blink song is Snake Charmer. It's not a song I hear a lot of people talking about, and I think it's got one of the best bridges, certainly on that album. And I don't know, it's just got a huge, like, big uplifting bridge before the last chorus comes in. And I can't wait till it gets to that point in the song, because I mean, the rest of the song, you know, is good, but I don't think it's as good as when it gets to that part. You know, it goes into the last chorus. I just think it sounds massive. You know, I always really liked it. And a lot of the songs on that album have very weak bridges, but that's definitely not one of them. And I always really dislike when there's, you know, just a weak bridge in a song. in my opinion, it's meant to really change things up for a little bit, or slow things down to transition into like something big. But on a lot of those songs, on Neighborhoods, it just kind of falls flat to me, and I just don't think that's the case for Snake Charmer. The last Blink song I gotta talk about, and the last song of the video I'm gonna talk about, is something that I saw a lot of dislike for, in my comments recently, and that is Roller Coaster. Now, when I first heard Take Off Your Pants and Jacket, I really didn't think much of Roller Coaster. I thought it was a pretty good song. I thought it was fairly fun to play on guitar. I thought it sounded good. I thought the lyrics were fine. This one does have a very interesting bridge, because I'm not entirely sure what the bridge is consisting of. Just a lot of like weird sounds just kind of like changing, but it's not like guitar or bass or anything like that. I don't know, it's weird, but something about this song hit me in the last couple of years, and it feels like straight up poetry to me. Like the lyrics are, this can be said for a lot of songs out there, obviously, because the lyrics are poetry basically, and you're just putting them in music. But I feel like this is one of their best examples, out of their whole catalog as far as poetry goes. And I really think that the lyrics they show just a really good story, but they also have a really interesting way of flowing, from line to line. And there's a lot of lines that kind of run together purposely, to combine words and stuff like that. I always thought it was really neat, and I just think the whole song it's a great song. I love jamming to it when I'm driving around. And I don't know, I just think it deserves a lot more credit than it gets. I think it's a lot better than Shut Up from the same album. It's definitely, worth people's time, more than people really give it. Some people, maybe they wrote it off quickly, I'm not sure, but I think that it deserves a little bit more love. So that's my list. That's all I really got. Hopefully this all made sense, because I kind of rambled a little bit, but I don't know. I just really think they're good songs, and I think they deserve a little bit more love. So if you guys want me to do a video on most overrated Blink songs, I could try to do something like that. Seems only fitting. I'm sure most people would probably want me to do it. And it'd be interesting to go through their catalog and see what I'm thinking as well. So we'll see. Anyway, let me know what you think. Let me know your list for underrated songs. I'd be very curious, because I do read all the comments that I get, and I'd be interested to see what you guys think. And let me know what you think of my list, if you agree, disagree, whatever. So that's all I got. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.